What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about ways to lock your base, lock chests, basically lock everything down, and kind of create a clan in this same time. So basically, what we're looking at is this guy right here. This is a ward. And what it does is it actually claims an area. So anything that's built in the area or in the vicinity of the ward is actually not interactable for anybody that's outside of the permission of the ward. And as you can see, I'm actually letting some of the other characters that are on the screen interact with the ward here so that they can become members. So as you can see, it says permitted Stormy, and as the other characters go up and interact with it, they are permitted to use it. So then when it's active, they can get into the chests, they can use doors, but anybody that's not on the list, if they're not the owner or they're not permitted, they would not be able to interact with doors or chests. They can still interact with all the workbenches. Now, if you're new here, I'd encourage you to click that subscribe button, click that bell so you get notified when I upload another tip, trick, guide, or gameplay video. So this is a really great way to lock down your stuff from other players on a server so that they actually can't get into your base and use your items, get into your chests or anything like that. Again, even if they are not permitted on there, they can use workbenches, they can use stations, they can cook food on your fireplaces, everything like that, but they wouldn't be able to access doors or chests. And this is much like a clan system. So whoever places the ward is actually the person that owns it. So that would be like the clan leader. And the people that then are allowed to interact with the ward would then be clan members. So what you would need to do is deactivate it, allow someone to interact with it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate the ward here, and I'm going to allow Decker to then activate himself on there, and then reactivating it will then make it so that he can use everything, but anybody that's not on that permitted list can't use it. So a couple of things that you should know about this: once someone's permitted, they have to re-interact with the ward to be unpermitted, or you have to rebuild it. So if you wanted somebody out of your clan per se, you would have to then destroy the ward and rebuild it in order to get them out of your clan, especially if they weren't willing to just dismiss themselves from the ward. You also don't want to place these out in the open because the ward can actually be damaged and destroyed. Once the ward is destroyed, then all of your doors and your chests will be unlocked for whoever comes by. So you do want to build this in a place that isn't just easily accessible. Don't put this out in front of your front door. You want to place it behind some good walls because you don't want to see this thing just get crushed thinking that everything that you own is going to be okay when somebody comes by and just smashes it and is able to get into your stuff. So definitely build this behind your walls. The other thing that is really nice about the ward is that when your stuff, anything that you own, starts getting damaged, it's actually going to make a noise. So it's going to sound an alarm letting you know that your stuff is being damaged, and that's going to let you know that you're being attacked by other players or you're being attacked by NPCs, and you can go out and see what's going on. And the ward is decently early game. It does require the 5 fine wood, 5 gray dwarf eye, and 1 surtling core, but the hardest thing out of that list is probably the surtling core. I know that fine wood is usually harvested after you get metal, but I'm actually going to show you a way real quick how you can get fine wood without any metal tools and without requiring the use of a troll to knock these trees down. And basically the hardest part is going to be to get that first tree on the ground. So what you want to do is you want to look for the birch trees. Those are the white trees with the black markings. And then what you're going to do is just start knocking trees down around it. Now what you can actually do with these is roll the logs into the birch tree, and you can go back and forth. As you are rolling those logs into the birch tree, it's doing a little bit of damage. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does a little bit of damage. Now this can be slightly time consuming early game, but it is a lot easier than fighting a troll to get them to knock it down early game, and it's also going to be a lot faster than waiting until you get metal, especially if you want to protect your stuff. So basically just continue to run the logs in and out of the tree, against the tree and away from the tree, until you get that tree to fall down. Once you have the tree knocked down, the same process happens. So what you're going to want to do is just roll the logs into each other, right? And it's easiest to do this on an upslope. So you've got a little bit of an upslope to roll the log up and then roll it down. As you can see, it's going to break the other logs as well. But every time that you roll it into that other log, you are doing damage to it. So this eventually will split into 2 logs, and then what you're going to want to do is roll them into each other. So it does the most damage against itself. So once you have the 2 logs, you just want to put those 2 logs up against each other. So just continue to roll them into each other until one of the 2 logs breaks. And at that point in time, you will have some of your fine wood. And each one of those logs is going to give you 5 fine wood. So all you need to do is just continue to roll them into each other until one breaks, and you'll have the 5 fine wood that you need in order to make the ward. The other thing about the ward is that since it's an area of effect, what you could really do is have different buildings with different wards in front of them. So if you've got certain members that you play with and they should have access to certain things, then you can place a ward for them to access just that area. Or you could place a ward at your house and not let them access that. So it really does give you quite a bit of control over what they're able to do. The other thing that the ward does is it blocks players that are not permitted from building in the area. So they would not be able to build in the area or the location of this ward. The other item that I'm going to cover today isn't unlocked until you actually have iron, and that is the personal chest. Now, the personal chest gives you a total of 6 slots, and that is something that can only be opened by your character. There is no way to give anyone else access to this chest. So if you have 6 items that you want to keep just for yourself, the personal chest is the way to go. However, it is not unlocked until you reach the iron stage, and it is slightly expensive at 10 fine wood and 8 iron. But I think having the ability to have a small chest that you can call your own, that no one else can interact with or get into, that's a very cool feature of the game. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this short guide on locking and unlocking in Valheim, and I want to know in the comment section below, did you know this was possible, or is this a brand new information for you? Let me know that in the comment section below. The whack moments in this video were sponsored by my legendary supporters. If you'd like to become a member, you can click the button below that says join. That'll give you all the details. And if you want to continue the fun, there's 2 videos on the screen. You can pick one of those to watch next. Please don't forget to whack the like button. And if you're new to the channel, I'd encourage you to click that subscribe button, click that bell so you get notified when I upload another video.